Hey guys, welcome to our Wefunder live stream. I'm Adam Johnson. Whoop whoop.
Oh, sorry.
Dab.
No one's going to see that part anyway. So.
Yeah, because they haven't logged in yet. I'm Adam Johnson with Extreme Sandbox. I got the owner and founder, as always, Randy Stenger here. We are here to help answer your questions and give you information about what we are doing. What are we doing here today, Randy?
What are we doing? We're at our Rosedale site, right?
Yep.
So we're in the mall here. We figured, if you guys haven't seen, if you haven't seen, you've been under a rock, most likely. But you might actually have a life too, I guess. Anyways, but we launched our Wefunder crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding campaign. It went into a private mode last week, where it's just really us trying to fill our own fans, supporters up. And it officially goes out into the Wefunder community this Wednesday. So, first of all, thank you for all those that have already contributed. So we've already raised money, and people are already investing to start with. So it's really, really cool.
That's amazing.
I know. There's a countdown timer going on the Wefunder side. I think it's under 2 days. But what we want to do is, we've gotten emails, calls, just with questions, because I would say most of our fans that are doing this are not sophisticated investors, and they don't get a lot of that. Don't worry, that's perfect. That's why we are doing this. We have decided not to basically go after some big time investors. We'd rather have our fans be part owners with us. So
yeah, why not let the people that support us already, our friends, family, the people that already came out to Extreme Sandbox and got to experience how awesome it is?
Yeah.
Why don't they get to be part of it?
Yeah. So that's why part of the reason. So we're going to be online as long as you guys want. So we've got a bunch of questions already kind of prepared. Adam's on live here as well. We've got Jen. Hi, Jen in the background. Hi. Jen, Irix behind the camera there. So we are just here for you guys to basically, answer any questions. If during this you can go, and if we can put a link out there, Jen, it's basically wefunder.com/extreme sandbox. That is the investment page. That's where all the information is on there. And you'll see a little countdown timer up there. But if you want to see the listing and ask us questions while you're actually reviewing it, that's really, really cool.
And we put the Wefunder link in the chat window. So if you guys are watching us live, you can click on the link right from there. 2
things if you're watching. First of all, tell us where you're watching from. And the second thing is, if you've come out to one of our sites, tell us what your favorite part was. So if you're watching right now, where you're watching from and what your favorite part of Extreme Sandbox was. So with that said, we're kind of stalling a little bit because I know people are just going to be coming online here. And I know a lot of people will probably just watch this video afterwards. Sometimes we don't make it in time. So we'll kind of run through some questions.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people watching already. Sarah is high-fiving us, so high five, Sarah. Thank you.
High five. Sorry, small hands. He's my big bear, big teddy bear.
I love that.
You want to go down start at the top of some of the questions we've had emailed to us?
Yes. Blunt and to the point. If I invest with you guys, how do I make money?
How do you make money?
Mm-hmm. So why am I going to give you my money?
I think ultimately what we're looking at is obviously to fuel our growth, to add additional sites. So with you investing, and we'll go a little bit over the method and what the investment is, but ultimately I see us growing the company to have either paying out dividends, either in cash or additional stock options. We think as we scale the company, we're obviously increase the valuation, so you as a shareholder of the company, that's ultimately what you're looking for. I've also we've had some investors, professional investors reach out, they're just maximizing their return. They want to get as much dollar as they can. And I tell most of our fans, I'll be right up front with you. If you're just looking for the max return, the shortest amount of time, we'd love to have you visit our site. It's probably not going to be something you're going to want to invest in. We're really looking for our customers that are in it for the long haul. It might be 5 years plus, but that's the beauty of Wefunder is you can really do it any different level of commitment that's going to help us fuel our growth.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is...
Yeah, you went straight into how do you make money. I like the way you think.
How do I make money if I'm going to invest in you guys? How much could I invest? Like, what are my...
Well, let's start. Why don't we start?
What is Wefunder?
Well, I was going to say, I think so we had questions brought up early, and I really think kind of setting the stage on some of those early questions here. So the first one, a lot of people is what is Wefunder? And I think just so you know, if you would ask me that same question 5 months ago, I would have been the same way. Like, what is Wefunder? Wefunder reached out to us about 4 or 5 months ago, and it is an equity crowdfunding platform. If almost everyone, I'm sure, has heard of Kickstarter and other crowdfunding platforms like that, that's for a product. This is for actually buying into a company equity. And the reason it's relatively new. If you do some research, equity crowdfunding has only been around for about 2 years. It started under the Obama administration. There was a Jobs Act back in 2012 that changed that. Instead of being a sophisticated, accredited investor, anyone could invest in their local businesses. And so that was passed in 2012. Unfortunately, there was a lot of regulation within the SEC that regulates it. So it took like 4 more years. So it wasn't until 2016 that sites like Wefunder's probably one of the larger ones. There's a couple of others. That's when they really started growing from there. And the idea is pretty simple. Instead of small businesses like ours going after 1 or 2 big investors like sharks, instead of getting one investor at maybe 500,000, it would be better to get 100 at 1,000. And it's really about using your existing network, letting your fans fund you instead of going out after some large investors. So that's the idea behind crowdfunding: is you're buying into a company, and really very few. I mean, this is like it's no different than investing in the stock market. It really is. It's you're eventually working towards a share of ownership. It's just very fractional. It's a smaller amount.
Yes.
So it looks like the Wefunder page is down. Looks like they have some issues on their end, and we're going to try to contact them.
That's not a good thing to
Fix it.
happen.
So
Wefunder
I've
is
been
what-
trying to log into it.
Working this morning.
It was working. I was on it. So if you're going there, it looks like maybe their site may be down. But let's keep going down.
Well, there were some questions that people asked.
Oh yeah. Well, if we have that, because I was going to go down this because we had some good ones up front.
This one's from Rick. He's saying his errors. Marisa says, how will you be expanding to schools, instruction for trade industries?
Excellent question, Rick, and thank you for tuning in. So I think if you guys have followed us, we're a heavy equipment adventure company, started in 2012 in Minnesota. It was very much started as just the onesie-twosies coming out. I mean,
Yep.
the tourism,
Individuals coming
individuals. Then we started doing corporate groups, and I would say corporate groups are probably about half of our revenue now. That's where we find that teams are really looking for new and interesting things to do. The other market I think is really exciting to us is about 3 years? 3 years? When do you think we did our first camp?
It was
3,
right
4
there.
years ago?
3 years, yeah.
So we recognize in the industry there's a huge need. There's a skills gap in the high schools, and the schools that just aren't equipping these kids as much we've been pushing 4-year degrees for so long. And that's not the reality, and it does need to be. Some of these kids can make even more money in a trade and be happier. So
And there's nothing wrong with a 4-year degree, but not everybody is meant to go do that.
Totally. So we decided on, we're not trying to be a training school, but really we've tried to just educate and inspire the next generation. We have a fun business that can get kids. We want to put kids in equipment that have never once thought of being in construction and just kind of light the fire under them. And then if that kind of inspires them. So that's where I see we're going with that, Rick. It's never, to be quite honest, I mean, from an investor side, it's never going to make us money. And
It's Marcia that asked that question. but-
Marcia. It's not the schools and things like that to help the industry. As a small business, what I've found is everyone says it's a need. Unfortunately, the reason there's not a lot of business out there serving it is because everyone acknowledges the need. Unfortunately, there's just not money flowing, and it's not something that, we've done all of our camps. We charge a very nominal fee compared to what we make in a corporate group. Now, some things in business you do just because it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
And I think that's ultimately
That's what we did.
We did it we charge a much lower, we've even comped a lot of those school groups. So it's not as much a revenue driver for us as a relationship builder, both for the industry. Obviously our equipment sponsor is Komatsu, and I think they're big supporters of us doing more camps. So I do see us doing more of those. If your next question is really going to be about training more, I don't see us going into an official training school in our future just because it pulls away from what we do. We're a fun company. It's not, do what you're good at, and we're good at fun. So I think that's really our future, is continuing to expand, but using, we call it edutainment, combining education and entertainment if we can get kids inspired. So that'll be the future there.
And we have had individuals that came out and got stick time, and I think that's about the extent that we'll do.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the coolest things we did here at Extreme Sandbox Mini was last year. We had a snow removal company come in July because they needed stick time and to just do training. And how do you train your operators in July to get ready for snow? That's kind
Yeah.
of a cool idea, and we were able to give them a nominal fee. They played here for a little bit. They brought their foreman in, but we didn't offer formal instruction. We let them just utilize our tools in our facility to help them facilitate their training.
I think so. I was going to say that it's more using our resources that we have. So we have everything set up. The beauty of that is when we set up these sites around the country, we're basically mini demo facilities. We've got wireless communication systems. We've got remote engine cutoff devices. And we've got all these pieces. So our goal there would be let the industry basically use our sites during our downtime, and that means we're not officially doing the training. We're just providing the equipment, whether it's simulators, our communications. I would see us going more towards that.
Okay.
What about so some of these I really liked on the questions that probably the next.
What? Yes, that's a great question because I don't know the answer.
Do we find out if Wefunder's back up yet?
I'm keep looking.
Still not.
What is a convertible note?
So
That's
the other
what it asks in there.
I think the big thing is if you go to our Wefunder site, you'll see, and we've just I'm kind of addicted to Wefunder now because I've gone on it. It's just really cool to see as an entrepreneur to see other people's hopes and dreams, like these entrepreneurs that are growing really, really cool businesses. So go to wefunder.com, you can see some of the other businesses. But with us, we had the decision to make on how we wanted to raise the money. Several different ways. We went with a convertible note. Now, and so you'll see on there, it says a convertible note, valuation cap, 6.5 million. It's got an early bird discount to 5.5 million. To really, again, what I would do is Google convertible note if you don't know. But to sum it up, without being a professional advisor to you, it's a loan. You are essentially loaning us money. The beauty, I think, from an investor standpoint is you're actually getting, when you go through Wefunder, you're signing, there's a note there. So the Extreme Sandbox owes you that money. So it really, it mitigates your risk a little bit because it's not just throwing straight in equity immediately that if the business were to go out, you don't have anything. Whereas this is actually a loan. It is a 24-month term, which is very common for convertible notes, 8% interest. So we went through, again, you're not going to be doing this for that interest rate, but that is fairly competitive for a convertible note. We want to go on the higher side. And then there's also a discount, which I'll explain in a minute. But essentially, you are loaning Extreme Sandbox that money. So we're trying to, the minimum raise is $150,000, and we can go anywhere up to, I think our goal is to get around $500,000 to $1 million. But it is a note, a loan. Now, what happens, that's going to convert. That's why they call it a convertible note. At the end of that 24 months or anywhere in between, it'll most likely convert to equity. And there's several different, again, and Wefunder lays this out on the conversion process, but that's where it actually turns into shares in the company. And that's a direct ownership. And that's the beauty of that is, so what we expect in 2 years, we'll probably raise another round of direct equity. And our hope would be to be a $10 million plus company, which I think if we add 2 to 3 more sites like we want, that's really what you're looking for because that's where that cap comes in right now. If you see on there, it says 5.5 million to 6.5, whatever you're investing now, your cap, that is the most you'll pay for the shares for Extreme Sandbox. So your goal is if we're worth 7 million, 8 million, 10 million, the most you'll pay for your shares is that. So you're almost, if it's 10 million, or it could almost be doubling what your investment is. Not only that, you earn interest. So the interest rate would apply towards anything, that the 8% towards your investment in there. The discount rate, you'll see is a 20% discount. When you buy shares in a company, it's basically that note is allowing you're paying at an 20% discount. So, an example, if a share costs $1 per share, I'm just throwing numbers out there, we wouldn't know what it would be next year. You, with your initial investment, will pay 80 cents per share. So that's how that discount applies.
So I save 20 cents.
You save 20 cents per dollar. If you're only going to invest $1, like Adam, no.
Yep. What is our minimum?
So that's a good question. So that's the convertible note process. So great knowledge articles on Wefunder. But if you don't Google it, again, it's a very common way for new companies to raise capital initially. You are still investing in the company. So now the minimum. So this is why I love Wefunder. It's $100 minimum. So I mean, it's $100. It's like to me, it's just taking a shot. Pages back up. Irik's giving me a thumbs up. Wefunder pages back up. The minimum investment is $100. It goes all the way up to $107,000 is the max for one individual on this campaign. However, Wefunder also has something really cool. When you sign up for your account, it's completely free. There's also some legal, the SEC has requirements on how much you as an investor can put in. So if you're not accredited, they look at, you have to just report how much your income is, what your total net worth is, and I think it's 5 or 10% of your net worth. So anywhere from 100, I think the most common is going to be around 1,000. That's really where the perks, I would say, we'll talk about that in a sec, start kicking in. But any level over $100 is appreciated. 50,000 or more is what we call a major investor. So that has a little bit more, we work with those people a little bit more when we're looking at future sites, things like that. But honestly, any level is a huge help for us. And that's our goal, is to get more at the lower amounts.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. What are those perks?
Perfect. Well, first of all, you own a piece of Extreme Sandbox. That's pretty cool.
Could you make yourself own business cards that say, like, part owner of Extreme Sandbox?
Sure.
If you want to do that, you
If
can
you want to do that. So the perks. This is the cool part that, again, I don't think a lot of other, when you invest, doesn't really happen. So when you're on that Wefunder page, you'll see things that are perks. So everything I talked about already, that's just a straight up investment. That's a convertible note. That's very common to what an angel investor, any other investor might look at. The cool thing about Wefunder is we give these perks. If you look at it, there's 4 different levels. We put a perk at $500, $1,000, $10,000, and $50,000. Those are the 4 levels. So if you look at the $1,000 level, at the $500, the intro, that is basically you get 200 sandbucks. $200 is basically a credit to use it in one of our sites. It doesn't expire or anything like that. So essentially, if you're investing $500, you're getting 200 of that back as a future. You apply to anything. So it doesn't expire. So you really only put in 300. All of our perks stack on top of each other. So what that means, if you go to the next level, you get that earlier one and the next one. So the next level is $1,000. That is where you get a dueling adventure package. So that's a $395 value. So a $400 package is an hour and a half adventure on any one type of equipment for 2 people. Any one of our sites, you can use that. That's the second level. But that also, so you have the $395 value, plus you have the $200 from the earlier, the $500 perk. So essentially, you're getting about $700 for a $1,000 investment back in services. Then we go up to $10,000, where again you get those first 2. But that's also, this is where it's really cool. At $10,000 and more, it's no longer a one-time. You're getting these every year. So that one we listed as a small group package for the 3-hour event for up to 10 people. It's a $2,000 value that you get. The other thing we had, it's not really listed on there. We always apply our credits. So if you have that package, we honestly, you can divide it up however you want. If you'd rather do individual sessions, but you'll basically
smaller packages or whatever.
However, you'll basically have a $10,000 credit every single year at an Extreme Sandbox site. So if you invest $2,000 or $10,000, you get that every year plus those other one-time perks above. And then the big one is $50,000, which you basically have your own personal sandbox, so to speak. You'll add those ones up top, but then we basically said unlimited sandbox for life. What that means. It's really, we boiled it down to max 4 quarterly visits, but it's for the investor and their immediate family. You basically come out to our sites anytime and play. So you really kind of have your own little playground at any one of our sites. So at 50,000 or more, and we have some clients that probably spent that much over time.
We have some diligent fans.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a cool one. Not only are you investing, but you also get all those perks. So that's pretty cool.
You can come out and you can drive a 26-ton excavator whenever you want.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. More questions on
I want to go back. Marcia responded, and she said, we are diggers in the drillers in the industry, and it's extremely difficult to find people with stick time. Thank you for your info. Send me the info when the site's back up.
Yeah. So Marcia, it should be up. If you www.wefunder.com/Extreme Sandbox, I'm sure Jen or someone probably put the link right in the comments as well. So you can go see it on
what
there.
you say, we hear from everyone in the industry that they can't find people with
We're doing it.
experience.
We had a camp Friday.
You had on Friday.
Friday. We
You
had,
had 8 kids
we had
or so?
8 students came out from Wilmer, Minnesota. So we're doing those and we're trying to help you guys. So please, the industry, Komatsu's really our biggest supporter. They're the ones that have really helped us with equipment. Outside of that, we haven't really gotten financial assistance from the industry. This is a great opportunity. If you're looking for talent, invest in us. And I don't put that right in there. I want to invest, but here's what I want you to work towards. We're definitely, we always build those programs with what our customers want. And if we know we have investors, backing us, absolutely. We'll try and do more of those. So,
Yeah,
Question from Pedro.
another one.
Pedro says Wefunder is back online. Thank you, Pedro. How much do you want to focus on the current machinery offerings to minimize maintenance, training, running costs versus expanding to offering additional types of machines, military vehicles, fair rides?
I don't know about fair rides, but
I think what we already offer is kind of like fair rides
yes, it
too.
kind of is. Okay, so to answer your question, let's see. So I think, first of all, the focus is really growth. So, and when I say growth, I mean more sites. So we have 3 sites. We have, 2 in the Minnesota market and our original outdoor one, and then we have this new one we're sitting in right now, Extreme Sandbox Mini, which is a mall prototype. And then we have a site down north of Dallas, Texas, is our 3rd site. We want to scale that. The first 3 years was building the foundation. Now we know how to do this. We can take someone from 14 years old up to 94 years old and put them on equipment. So we built that. We had the back end processes, the training, everything in place. So the reason we're going after this crowdfunding campaign is to add sites to new markets. So pretty much any major metro area in the U.S. we think could support one. But to go back to
Are we going to get like new stuff?
Yeah, and I think first of all, we are sponsored by Komatsu. So most of our, as far as minimized maintenance, we have a beautiful relationship with them. They give us newer state-of-the-art equipment that's all under a service contract with Komatsu. So we don't really have the maintenance costs. We just do the typical preventative like greasing and things like that.
Well, and even to take that a step further, if you really want details, we're not beating the heck out of the equipment. So, you take a regular excavator on a construction site, they use that. We're taking an 85-year-old grandma and digging in sand.
Yeah. We don't have our equipment ends up staying in pretty good shape.
It's awesome.
Yes. But I do think additional types of machines, absolutely. And I think I think that also is what's made us a little bit different is I started with 1 excavator, 1 bulldozer, and 1 skid steer. That's all 3 pieces of equipment.
Yep.
And now we've scaled, we have 8 pieces on our site, but we also went beyond construction. We added a fire truck in year 2. That's at our Hastings site that we offer a fire truck experience. We have a harvest experience now. You can drive a combine where we partner with local farmers and let you go out and kind of be a farmer for a day. But I think that's the difference with us. We're always adding new and different. We had a big off-road dump truck, a Komatsu HM400 down at our Texas site. So we had a giant dump truck there. We've had larger excavators out. So I do see us evolving with more types of construction equipment. Our core is excavator, bulldozer, and wheel loader. I think those will always be our core offering.
Sure.
But as we add more sites, one of the things we want to do is each site has something unique. So maybe Minnesota has a fire truck. Even down to like Texas is working on potential for ATVs or we have a lot of land down there. We're at Tanglewood Resort, and there's a need to build maybe some off-road tracks. So that might be there. Again, there's you might have a crane. If we open a site in Chicago, maybe they have a crane. That's kind of our vision is each site has a signature experience.
Cool. You want to talk about future expansion plans? You said we can go. Where are we going to go next? We get that question all the time.
Yeah, and so we get a lot of franchise requests ever since we went on Shark Tank, and so we're not franchising right now. That is
why are we not franchising?
I think we met with a franchise attorney. This is before Shark Tank, and one, it's very costly. I think a lot of people don't understand to set up a franchise before you can even offer them. There's a lot of legal disclosures and paperwork you have to file to get there. So that was one. But 2, you look at the franchise program is really designed for companies that are trying to scale with hundreds and hundreds of locations. This is why you most commonly see it in restaurants, fast food joints, because they're just putting multiple of them, and then you earn a royalty on it. Extreme Sandbox, I see us growing and being huge. But we're not going to have ever more than 1 location in a metro. It's really, our window is about 2 hours around a site. So if we just get 20 Extreme Sandbox sites around the country, we're going to be very profitable. We'll make, the revenue will be huge. So we don't necessarily need the franchise program. With that said, in 2 or 3 years, ask me again. We're the kind of business that is always looking at the new ways to adapt. Maybe we'll change our minds, and maybe we think this is an easier program to franchise in a few years. But right now, it's been nice to hold, we centralize everything, which also makes franchising tough. And what I mean by that is we answer all the phones, the emails, gift certificate sales, social media management. All that happens from one central location. That's why we get the benefit of scale here. If you start breaking down into franchises, it's tough because they're individual owners at a site. So I think that is another piece.
Well, it keeps our costs down as well.
Yeah.
Too, because we have all the...
Totally. We have everything here. And then so build in the expansion plans. I think it's just, again, more sites. I would say... Chicago is one. There's a South Texas that we'd really, either Austin or Houston. Phoenix is a market we'd really like. Atlanta, something maybe in Florida,
Phoenix, you said
and then definitely the Northeast. I don't, Boston, New York, Philly, anything in there. We get a lot. New Jersey, for some reason, is probably our number one out-of-state
it's one-
market.
yeah.
Well, it was Texas,
Yeah.
but then we opened down in Texas, so now we don't get to be able to travel.
To
there.
all of our friends in New Jersey, thank you, because you're like our number one demographic.
If you're watching from New Jersey, put it in the comments, because I don't know how you guys hear about us. We don't market at all in there, but
Unless there's some weird billboard we don't know about, the people in New Jersey drive by and go, we need to go there.
yeah. So, so we'd love to put some other. The problem with the Northeast is you're so landlocked there. It's land is really, really expensive in the Northeast, and so that's probably our biggest challenge. But I'm confident within the next couple of years we will have something up in the Northeast.
We can technically build anywhere because we're open year-round.
Oh, that's a good one too. So speak to why what we're open year round.
All of our equipment, it's all state-of-the-art. It's almost all brand new. It's all fully climate controlled. You're inside a cab the entire time you play. So whether it's 110 degrees in Phoenix or it's negative 10 degrees in Minnesota here, you're going to be 70 degrees inside the cab. So that's amazing. So we can run year-round, and all of our equipment's strong enough and powerful enough. It's kind of fun to play in the winter.
Well, and people ask about anyone from the Midwest or anywhere northern.
When
Like,
do you
where do you
close?
dig? And yeah, we encounter frost, but two things. One, like Adam just said, our equipment's large enough; it will break through frost. The other thing is we dig in the same areas, so we never really get a hard frost in our sites
On
because
those
we're
spots,
always
yeah.
churning the same area over and over. I actually think it's more fun in the wintertime, to be quite honest, because it's one of those few
dig.
things you can do.
Correct. You can get outside and do something.
You're in an all-glass cab. It's more of a marketing issue for us, is that we have to do a better job educating people that, hey, we're open year-round.
But we get it the same thing in July in Texas.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. You've seen enough YouTube videos of me in the heat. I don't do well in the heat. So hot.
But the same thing goes. It's like sitting in your car just digging in a fully glass enclosed case. So
Yep.
yeah, we can build anywhere.
Do we cover? So
Yeah.
we can go back to we're kind of looking through some of the, do we have any others, new ones come in, Jen?
No.
How do I make money? I know you started that off.
Yeah, how
but now that we
else?
circled back, I think now that, and I kind of laid out what a convertible note was. So realistically, what I see, and again, everything, all this is on Wefunder. You can even see the note itself. Well, two things. So the Wefunder platform. I love it's very, they tell the story. They're storytellers, which I think is something that we're good at. Wefunder does it even better. But all of our cool content's on there. Couple things. First of all, if you just go to the bottom, it does say amount raised or amount, how does it worded on there? Invested so far or raised, something to that effect. It's a little bit deceiving, so go scroll up there, Adam. Keep scrolling up. It's like 700 and some thousand. Just so you know, it's not, keep going right above there, right there. It says 763,000. Just so you know, that is not from this campaign. And I've shared some feedback with Wefunder. If you're on the right of that, you see something that says funding history. Just so you know, you can click that. Basically, what they did is they're showing that we've raised money, and most of that is loans. Their line of credit. Most of those have been paid off. I see stuff from 2012. That again, you can see all those in our financial statements in Wefunder. So some people, we had a question like if we're still at that early bird rate up top because I see you've raised 760,000. That's not it. That's not how much we've raised. So don't disregard that number. It's to me a little bit again, it's not real for this campaign. Once that early bird is done, just so you know up in the top where it says it's discounting at $1 million, that will automatically go away. So as long as it says 5.5 million out there, you still have a shot to get in early. By getting in early, you are getting at a lower valuation. You're a whole $1 million lower. So that's why you want to do that earlier. So that was one. What was the other thing I wanted to say on the portal? Because I think that was the main two, is that. And then down at the very bottom, you can see the Form C. It says the Forms, I was talking about where you can see the actual note itself. If you scroll all the way to the bottom under like risks or whatever, there's a thing that says see the SEC Form C. Go up a little bit higher there, Adam. I want to see what it says exactly. Keep going right there. It says under this section, it says other disclosures. You'll see read the Form C. There's a link. That's the actual form that Wefunder files with the SEC. So it's a Securities Exchange Commission. But you can actually see everything in there. You can see the note that you're signing. Again, Wefunder does all this for both of us. So that's the beauty of
that's
it. They
cool.
make it seamless. I don't have to deal with it. You don't have to do it. For you guys know, it doesn't cost you anything. For your investment, none of your money is really paying that. they charge us a percentage. So we pay 5% of whatever's raised, which for anyone from a small business perspective, that is very, very good. That is great terms. That we're doing this raise. Because they spend a lot of money on the front end to put all this out, all the information. Wefunder's just been unbelievably helpful to me and to put all this out there. So that's how they end up getting paid. They get a small percentage of anything that we raise. I had another thought. Did you have another?
Question just came in. What do you feel about the Packers-Vikings tie yesterday? How does that make you feel as a Packer fan?
We won't go there. That was, yeah. First of all, dear NFL, ties should not exist. Should we play? I don't care how long you have to play. You can't end with a tie, right?
It felt anticlimactic.
Yeah, it really was. I felt so bad for the kicker, but okay, we're not going to get.
I don't know. It was just brought up in our notes here. A lot of people are commenting about kicking. Sorry.
We will not miss our shot if you give us money. Look at that, I made a football.
It's going to... Our Wefunder is going to go right through the uprights. Where do you see Extreme Sandbox 5-10 years? Do you have like an overall plan you'd like to take the company?
Yeah, I think, we want to, I think adding more sites. Again, 20 to 30 around the country. We've actually gotten a lot of international.
I was just going to ask you, what do you want to do with international clients? We get a lot of those.
Canada, we've had Dubai, some other places over, I honestly, when we get the international requests, there's so much market for us in the U.S. that I don't want to get too distracted from focusing on what we do really well here in the States that we can manage. But I do see that as the future. We've, to me, built a very powerful brand. We have a skill set, that's, no one else. We've got mall excavators all the way to big machines outdoors that we're doing that. So,
we're a destination location.
Yeah.
So people not only from all over the U.S. come, but just like, for example, our Minnesota and Texas location, we get people that fly in from all over the world.
Yeah.
I've had Chinese delegates, and we've had corporate clients from France fly in just to do this.
Yeah.
So let's get people here.
That's our future. Are you guys still? Is the feed choppy at all, Jen? Are you guys seeing it all right? His computer's all sticking.
No, mine is too. It's fine there.
It's fine. We good? We're still going fine? His computer's yours is old, right?
Yeah, help us with Wefunder.
We're going to use $200 out of this to get Adam a new computer.
Right.
Honestly, that is so part of how we're going to use the funds, I think, is one.
Oh.
Most of it, initially here, we're shoring up some things internally with the team. Like Adam's been with it since the beginning, and a lot of our team is as passionate what we've done. But the reality is we've kind of bootstrapped this. I'm 100% owner. This is the first time really giving up equity to outside people. But part of it is, we don't even have a benefits package for our team. And it's no different than most small businesses, but we're at a point now where it's really about taking care of our team. So part of that initial raise will go towards, the team is our biggest asset. So a nice compensation package with benefits, retaining good talent in there.
And hiring good talent.
And then I think marketing. Yeah. The other side of that is everything's reactive. We don't go out and really do a ton of proactive marketing. Most of our focus has been on YouTube lately, which is kind of organic through ourselves, but we want to be more proactive. And then the additional, we factor about $200,000 to $300,000 to open another site. So that's where a bulk of that is going, depending on how much we end up raising through this, is adding additional sites around the country. Other questions?
So that's kind of your goal for 5 to 10 years-ish?
Yeah, add more sites. And then, how to make we keep coming back to how to make money.
How do we make some money?
I feel like we're all over the place on answering.
We're fine.
We kind of go off in tangents on different areas.
Again, we're gonna post this on Facebook again. So if you're watching this not live, feel free to post comments down below, and Randy or the team will respond back.
So I may have said it, and again, it's honestly probably the most important question. You kicked it off, but really what we see is in 2 years, so that 24-month term on this note, we'll raise another round. So that way, again, my goal would be that the company's worth $10 million at that time. And I think we can do that. If we add 2 or 3 more sites, we'll definitely hit that. I'm really, really confident that we can hit that. And that's when this will convert into equity shares into the company. So with the beauty of getting in early, you're not only applying that interest, you will get a lower valuation. So if you get in early, it's at 5.5 million cap. So you're investing, if it's a $10 million company in 10 years, whatever number it is, the most you're going to pay is either 5.5 if you get in early or 6.5 million Otherwise, if we don't do another funding round in 2 years, you'll see in the note, we can do an automatic conversion. So either one, we're going to pay you back with that interest, which again, you'll get your money back with the interest, but I don't think you guys are doing this for 8% interest. You want to see us grow. So we would most likely convert it. There's a lower valuation of 4.5 million. So we kind of went on the low end there. So if we have to convert at the lower end because we don't do a raise, that'll be on us, and we'll do it. We'll convert everyone over at that point. So there's the different options there laid out in the note. So we cover most of those.
I think we did pretty good.
How much time are we? Any more? So anyone else? How many people are watching? Anyone else watching? We lost a few.
We're up.
Okay.
We're almost in double digits.
I
We had about almost 1,000 people view it.
The final thing I would say is, for us, it's all about we're kicking this off. So there's a countdown timer on Wefunder. That's really you guys, our fans, are seeing all this. Wefunder hasn't gone out and actively promoted the raise, and that's where it's going to go to the next level. Is Wefunder has a very active community. That's our goal, though. Don't get me wrong. We're going to love to bring on the Wefunders, those people, but I'd rather invest with the team, like our fans, everything we have right now. So this is why we really are looking for you to commit now. Today, tomorrow, it goes live on Wednesday. So please
35 minutes.
Invest now on there. And the other final thing is momentum. This is the quicker we get people to invest money now, it's momentum. We get people going, and that's when it goes out to Wefunder. They see that. So we've been talking for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys shut me up?
I think this is important. I think we did good.
I think it was good too. Again, so did we cover everything? Did you guys think?
I think we're good.
Jen, anything? No. So what we're going to do, so this will be obviously on our Facebook page. Feel free to post comments on there. The best way is email, info@extremesandbox.com, or my email's randy@extremesandbox.com. Any questions? Again, we're trying to get people to invest today or tomorrow. And I think we're going to put this same clip, will go on YouTube channel as well, so we can share it. But please, today, tomorrow, go out there.
We have a question from Meg.
Look, you got just in time.
Meg, you are so lucky.
What's the question? Can you see it?
Benefits for $5,000. Investment, question, 5 times the $1,000 perk.
Meg, you actually read my mind. I already have emailed my contact, because I thought about that over the weekend, because we've had a couple of people put in 5,000, and I feel like it's a big stretch between 1 and 10. I don't have an answer for you yet, but I'll see. I think I was trying to either do like I don't know if you have something that would motivate you to do that. I think it was going to be a one-time, maybe.
Like a mini group or a small group?
Well,
plus
something. We'll kind of
else?
figure out where it is. So put that, again, if you have ideas of what would motivate you on there. I think 10,000 is going to be for that lifetime, where we're doing it every year. But I think 5,000, that's such a significant commitment you're giving to us that I'd like to find something. And maybe it is an
group
annual
package every year or
I don't know.
something?
I don't know what it is, but yes, we'll work on that. So thank you if you can, again, today or tomorrow. The final thing I'll say is you can invest now. We look at Wefunder. They have a great record. You can get a refund. Not that I ever want you to get a refund, but you can get in early to get that earlier cap right now. And then Wefunder has a refund policy before. I see the campaign probably running 4 to 8 weeks. It's really, again, it depends on when we want to close it, is we get to make that call. So we're trying to get people in early right now to get some of the lower valuation and benefits there. But please invest now, and you can change your mind. Before you would change your mind, I'd ask you to email me just so I can talk through it and go from there.
Agreed. Thank you guys
Awesome.
so much for tuning in. We look forward to you helping us support us on Wefunder.
Awesome.
Have
Thank
a
you
great
guys.
day.
Have a great day.
Peace out.